This has an aluminum block, 5.3 liter, Gen 3 LS engine in it. Freshly rebuilt 4L60E transmission, electric fan, aluminum radiator. It's been gone through so many times. It's got QA1 single adjustable shocks all the way around. It has a stock short bed frame that's been modified a little bit. All the bed and everything's custom built. There's been a lot of effort put into keeping this truck looking original looking, but with some old parts. There's an aluminum block, 5.3 liter of a 2003 Envoy XL, obviously modified. So it has the Domo LS kit, so you have some old Cal Custom valve covers on it. You have the Holley fuel rails. If you get back in here, you actually have a catch can back there to catch any blow-by oil from your PCV system. You have mechanical oil gauge, mechanical water temp going into those gauges in there, so you don't have to worry about electronics. You have hand-built custom headers so that you can run the original steering box, but obviously all your headers are wrapped to keep the temperature down. Your coil packs that would usually be up on your valve covers are all custom mounts down there that are all hidden, and everything is new in there. Like I said, it's got an aluminum radiator. It's got a newer alternator on it, and then all your wiring is just as tucked as you're gonna get on an LS engine. You know, these look hideous if guys get sloppy with the wiring, but I probably took 2 months just cleaning up wiring, extending things, and try not to mess with the firewall because I want everything to look as original as it can be. And you even have your numbers still on your firewall from the factory. So this truck is clean, starts up every time. Like I said, it's got the 4L60E back here, and then you got some linkage running back for your brake setup. Your brake setup is just a modified version with the dual master cylinder in there, and then your drive-by wire is up under the seat, like I said. But this is what you get, you know, 300 horsepower. This engine is, I would assume, lighter than the 216 that would be in the Chevy, and these actually would have had an Oldsmobile flathead in it, but I didn't have any of that. And then, like I said, you have all your hand stitched weather stripping all the way around. Your vent opens up, it's got new weather stripping in there. This thing has been gone through multiple times. It was a 3-year build, so it's been under the knife for a long time, but I wanted to do it right, and you can tell. All right, well, I figured I'd give you guys a nice little cold start. So. Some nice oil pressure in there. Gotta let her idle down and then take her for a little cruise. Finished up the tune. I had it on eBay before, but now I have it on speed density tune, and worked on it a bunch to get it running nice and clean. Now that it doesn't have a MAF sensor on there, so I know it's obviously bright out, but I try to always drive with my headlights on, and like you can see, electric fan, so that it's nice and cool in there. So hopefully I can get some nice shots. Do a little walk around video of the ultimate sleeper truck. This is a 1936 GMC. I built a flatbed for it. Obviously the goal of this truck is to keep it looking as original to the time period, but some newer drivetrain and lightweight was another goal. All these boxes are made of cedar. They're custom built. I tried to use some old school looking hinges on them, and then I built some latches so that they look inconspicuous. So you can do some storage down there and then squeeze it together. A little hard to do one-handed, but they have all small finger joints to look period correct. 17-inch artilleries, new Firestone Blackwall tires all around. You can see in here, this is where you fill up your gas. This is original style gas tank that I modified so that it can accept the square body sending unit, which is like an 80s Chevy truck. So all that is up underneath the spare tire. And I made it that way so that it's all hidden. I didn't want you to see much. I want it to look like how an old truck would look. So you can see some fuel lines, and if you go down there, you have your Holley filter regulator. So there's a return style regulator. Anything that's new is painted to be brown so it matches, looks rusty like the frame and the body. It has new dual exhaust all the way back, 2.5 inch. And then everything back here, I tried to keep as much original parts as I could. So like this tail light came with it. I think it's a Ford tail light, but I got matching tail lights. Those all work. Turn signals work. This bed is all cedar planks, and then these are like bed strips that they look almost like galvanized on there. So I didn't want anything too shiny on the truck. And then all these side rails, I know if you think like an old work truck, it would be all loose in there. Well, I designed it with these pockets, but if you look inside the pockets in here, there's bolts that run in and everything mounts. And then if you get in here, I built all the exhaust to run up the same way as the frame. It's all new brake lines all throughout, wheel cylinders throughout, machined all the drums down. It has QA1 single adjustable shocks all the way around. And then this is a Nissan 4x4 axle. And then I ran all the wiring, try to hide everything as much as possible. I ran the battery up here for easier access and keep the weight down a little bit. Didn't want it in the cab. Rebuilt all the leaf springs, all your bushings and your leaf springs. I mean, I went through everything. So QA1 single adjustables in the front. Again, everything's been gone through in the front. I made special mounts up in there so everything's hidden, so it looks appropriate. If you climb under the truck, everything's really clean. Leaf springs have been gone through. It's got a F-body oil pan on it to give you a little more ground clearance. New U-joints, and everything's been gone through, so it's not leaking. So nice truck. If you want to be different from the crowd, this is the truck for you. All right, this is up under the seat just to show you. In the back is your heater defrost knobs, and then your vintage air heater defrost setup. And those vents dump behind the seat, so it heats up the cab. This tall piece is your drive-by-wire setup. There's a lever that goes underneath there, and all that goes over to there's a little drive-by-wire computer that goes under these relays over here. You know, I have some relays for my flashers and headlights and things. And then your two fuse blocks are all wired up over in the corner. PCM's right there. And then that's everything. And you also have some seat belts back there, but I just don't have them sticking out yet. So that's what under the seat looks like inside the cab. And there's just 5 bolts that bolt that seat up. So if something were to happen to your fuse block, you just undo that, and it's nice and light. New foam and everything, so you can pull that out by yourself. You can tell the 36, 37, 38s all have the dual body lines, which is nice. Everything works on it. The window cranks out, the vent cranks out. I even have the GMC badging that you'll see down in here. And like I said, everything's been rebuilt. Some of the running boards, brackets had to be fixed. Headlights are all converted over to 12 volt. It's all a 12 volt system. I had to find this bumper and make some new custom bumper mounts, and then it's got these small little turn signals so that it doesn't look too obvious that you put newer stuff on it. It has the GMC radiator cap, which obviously is different now because now the radiator is an aluminum radiator. It's got an electric fan in the front. It's all painted black to hide it. Doors open and shut. If you know anything about the 36s, they have wood in the A-pillar, so I had to redo all the oak up in these A-pillars, redid all the wood up behind the dash support. It has the newer style window regulators, so they actually work. And then the door opens and shuts. I rebuilt all this seat, so it's got a newer looking leather seat in, but obviously I wanted that plain, simple look. And I'll pull this inside so we can see a little better. I know you got a lot of shadows going on, but I wanted everything to look as simple as possible. All your gauges are in there, but the real gauges that you would use are up in your glove box. So I wanted to hide all those in a wooden glove box that I made, and then all that shuts. Like I said, your window regulator opens up, so your window cranks out. The same with, you have a lever down there that opens up that vent. I had to custom make all the brake pedal, accelerator pedal, everything to try to look appropriate to the truck. And then all your wiring is just that, just runs up the side. You got new leather straps for the door hold downs, but I wanted everything to look original in here. So this little lever is actually your shifter, you know, to go into drive. I made a little leather boot out of the same material as the seat. Emergency brake cable still works. It used to be mounted to the old 3-speed transmission, but now it's mounted to a 4L60E. And then your gas pedal actually runs linkage underneath the truck that runs up underneath the seat. So everything's hidden. All your drive-by-wire stuff is hidden. Your fuse block, everything. PCM has a vintage air heater defrost set up in it, and that's all under the seat. Nice and tidy, clean wiring. I'll show you some of that later. And then up under here, you know, you still have your key. None of the knobs work, but this already had this little switch in it, so that runs your headlights. A starter button, a horn button, and then your turn signals are on a little toggle switch. But again, the goal, I didn't want all this to look hideous in the truck. I want it, when you open it, whenever you see it, I want it to look like a truck that either doesn't run or has never been worked on. So I hand stitched all the weather stripping that goes in the doors, top and bottom. The same with all the weather stripping that goes up around the hood. And then found out they make it later, but it's the most custom truck you'll probably see that looks like it doesn't run. It's got new glass in the back and in the doors, and all your doors open with the door latch, and your windows roll down with your door handle, just like they should. New weather stripping up in here. Your doors open shut, just like they're supposed to.